Hello, I'm Laura Kellier, Sean Kellier's mother. I am requesting that no one give statements to the media or make public statements regarding my son's death.
Folks, I want to make it abundantly clear that I am not in the least bit happy that this human being is dead, Sean Kellier. I'm just not. Some of you may disagree with me, but whatever, I'm not sorry. I just want to make it very clear that I'm critical of his actions and his views. That does not mean I'm happy that he's dead. I make light of his actions, his views, and his hypocritical words. That still doesn't mean I'm happy that he's dead. I am not. I don't know what else to say. So don't think that just because I make fun of him when he was alive, or his comrades Antifa, or the things that he says, do not think that means that I'm happy he's dead. It does not mean that I'm happy he's dead. I am not happy that he is dead. Okay, is that clear? Can we move on? All right.
Hello, I'm Laura Kellier, Sean Kellier's mother. I am requesting that no one give statements to the media or make public statements regarding my son's death. This is to include posting on social media on my behalf, as I want all public statements to stop. They just fuel the rumor mill, which everyone close to Sean has had to suffer through. May be trying to continue to leave messages on the Democratic Party of Oregon's offices after it has been cleared up, but I am requesting that you refrain. For anyone who is interested, there will be a memorial potluck held for Sean on October 26th at noon in Chapman Square. Thank you for your time. However, I will not be taking any questions.
If anyone has questions on the building itself and the plans for the building, this is Brad Martin. He's our executive director. We're happy to talk about that, but that's the extent of our involvement here.
What kind of mother radicalizes her own son and then has the nerve on camera to ask the public to not help find the killers by remaining silent about his death?
Yeah.
She's effectively defending and protecting the very monsters that killed her son and got him injured in the first place.
Yeah.
Because you know what? The way it's looking, it looks like Antifa saw 3 black guys they didn't fucking like the politics of or something or whatever, and they shot at them, resulting in this jackhole getting run the fuck over and possibly dragged for a while.
Yeah.
Then they decide, in their infinite goddamn wisdom, to protect a building and a greedy fucking asshole, to force this now mangled individual to walk.
Right, and one witness said that they dropped him a couple of times.
Because he can't fucking walk. No, because soon as you moved him, you sons of bitches, you caused things to start rupturing. He could have had a stable neck injury, and when you fucking moved him even a millimeter, you snapped his neck.
Yep.
You're not allowed to move them. That's murder. You murdered him. Yeah, and now Mommy fucking Dearest here, the one who should get the Mother of the fucking Year award, is fucking pretending like she gives a shit. You radicalized him, and now you're defending the very people who murdered him. And you know what? I won't sympathize with her, and I won't sympathize with her goddamn kid. You know why? Because she created him, number one. And number two, do you think she bothered to go out of her way to apologize to any of the mothers and or fathers of the children that her fucking piece of shit child had bashed in the head and possibly have irrevocable brain damage? They're just stuck that way now?
No, she still supports
She doesn't fucking
Antifa.
care.
She still supports Antifa, the very terrorist organization that does those things.
Yeah. So if she doesn't care, I don't fucking care. Fuck you.
Yeah, Tabby and I, we don't always agree on things, and that's okay. We don't hit each other. We don't hit each other with bike locks.
No.
Just with baseball bats.
I was like, there's no point in just agreeing. If you agree, then people like this sow-mouth fucking little bitch exists.
Sow mouth, I like that.
You know, this fucking cunt who radicalizes her son and then sends him out on a mission of murder to your children.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I can't sympathize with that. I'm sorry, yeah, a person died. I can barely call them a person to begin with. For the way that you radicalized them and basically trained a little murderer. That's what she did. She tried to fucking murder, and I'm supposed to cry. Yeah, I cry for the lost innocence of that child. That's what I cry for. That's it.
Yeah, and you know what? If Mike Strickland is right that he has black belt in Taekwondo, here's a person who has acquired a power with that ability and is not respecting that power.
Nope.
Okay, you're supposed to use that as a last resort to defend yourself or someone else, and what does he use it? He uses it to terrorize people with.
Yeah, thanks to mommy there. Because had he been raised up like a normal little boy, his main goal in life would not be, can I hit somebody with a stick in the back of the head today and go, ha ha ha, with my friends later?
Yeah. Okay, apparently that's Sean. I can't tell. But this person, who I've never heard of before, Courtney Savoy, says, I haven't seen his name in years, but as soon as I saw the picture and his name, it hit me. I got him into activism in 2012. His heart was in the right place back then, but unfortunately it looks like he got caught up with Antifa instead of the original movement. Take that with a grain of salt. Let's go to the profile of the account that did comment that seems to be Sean's mom. So right here, you can see that is the woman from the video. You can see that is Sean. And notice, well, here, let's go to our timeline first, because I want to show you this, folks. October 13th. Please do not talk to the media. Please respect this. Please respect me. Sean's mom. Please respect Sean. He hated the media. Please call out anyone that does Antio Zamboni.
He hated the media. Well, he mugged for the fucking camera, I know.
He bugged for the camera, but he also threatened people who were filming him.
Yeah, because he didn't want to go to jail.
Right. So
he didn't like the media. He likes the attention. He just doesn't like the chance of going to jail.
Right. Or his friends or comrades or whatever.
Yeah.
And it's like, I'm sorry, if your friend's going to attack somebody, then blame your friend for your friend going to jail.
Yeah.
Not that you'll ever hear this, because you've gone on to join the crowd invisible. You are an ex-Antifa now.
You proved why you don't join gangs.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyone else with a brain could have told you that. Unfortunately, your mother didn't have a brain to give you.
Yeah. Now, this is interesting. Phil Phillips. We've never met him, but I'm so sorry for your loss. At every protest I've been to, I make it a point to thank as many members of Antifa as possible. They continually stand in the gap for Portland citizens. I know you are very proud of your son, and this is the confusing part. He was a true patriot. Rest in peace, Sean. And then Keller, the mom, responds, well, no, he was no patriot, but I'm proud of him. Okay? If this is her, it's extremely clear that she's on the, she's against patriotism. She's saying my son wasn't a patriot. He's Antifa, I'm Antifa, etc.
Yeah, she cultivated him to be a communist.
Right.
And now she wants sympathy for her commie trash son dying.
Yep. So then the next post is this picture. This is the public memorial for all. He started with Occupy, so it seemed fitting. Okay, it's hard to read her sentences. It's hard to read what she writes because she doesn't punctuate anything, but this is the public memorial for all. Period. He started with Occupy, so it seemed fitting. Period. Please share this with Antio Zamboni. You can see here is a picture of, that right there looks like he's got the same makeup on as in that other picture we saw where he was lying there with the silly string on him. It appears here he's carrying a kid or something on his shoulders. Not sure. That photo we've seen. And there he is. Look, she includes a snapshot from the video that we saw in the last episode of her son threatening a guy who was just filming.
Yep. Because she was proud of it.
Yes. Okay, now, let's have a look at this article by the Portland Tribune. Woman mourns activist Sean Kellier as love of my life by Zane Sparling, October 12th, 2019. Here we have photographs of Christy Hathaway. Apparently his girlfriend or ex-girlfriend says contributed photos. Christy Hathaway and Sean Kellier met at Portland protest and quickly fell in love. On Saturday, Hathaway mourned Kellier's death under murky circumstances. We could skip over some of this article, but note that it says right here that she calls him, quote, the love of my life, unquote. She's called a grieving partner. It says that his middle name is Daniel, so now we know apparently his name is Sean Daniel Kellier. And this is a quote from her. Quote, "I always told him you're my hero for the things that you do. You stand up for the people who are voiceless," unquote, said Christy Hathaway on Saturday, October 12th, speaking next to a makeshift memorial outside the Democratic Party of Oregon offices at that address, which, you know by now, folks, has been vandalized, even with things like kill cops, something to that effect, you know. Their relationship began 3 years ago during a demonstration against the election of President Donald Trump. Surrounded by thousands, Kellier stood out in the crowd. Quote, "The world lost a hero," unquote, Hathaway said through tears. Hathaway said Kellier was likely out with friends at Cider Riot, the unofficial watering hole for local anti-fascists, when, quote, "something must have provoked," unquote, the incident. The 28-year-old learned of the incident after his friends contacted her from an emergency room. Down here it says that growing up with a father who wasn't around, Kellier immersed himself in the martial arts scene, winning medals for his skill and gained a reputation as mature for his age. But Hathaway recalled that no matter how tough his outer shell, he had a soft heart. So we have a mother who's into Antifa and stuff like that. He, as we'll see a little bit later in this video, he has a nickname, or had a nickname, 13, because apparently it was at the age of 13 that he started going to these Occupy-style protests, and he doesn't have a father around.
You never had a mother or a father. I wonder, it's fucked up.
Yeah. Quote, "I wish everyone could know the side of him I saw at home when we were with our cats just cuddling," unquote, she said. Quote, "I think if he saw anyone treated unfairly, he would have stepped up without question, without hesitation, and that's why I fell in love with him," unquote. And the thing is, it's like I have to wonder how much of this is delusional on her part or how much of this is just her lying, because obviously when it comes to certain things, he's not tolerant, he doesn't stick up for justice, and etc.
She's tainted, baby. The girl is tainted. She's crazy. She's crazy like he is.
Right.
They're all crazy in that way, so they don't see that they've done wrong. They see
Right.
that as just. You know, that helped somebody. It's like, it's not helpful.
Yeah.
But they don't see that it's not helpful.
Right. Yep.
It's a sad truth.
The joint, it says right here, the joint was perhaps quieter than usual Saturday evening, weighed down by more than the eyes of a Portland Police Bureau squad car parked down the street. The patrons, some dressed in black, drank with a purpose, to mourn a rally-goer and a romance. And so there you go, folks. The rest of this would be redundant. That would be October 12th. But 3 days later, this person who was apparently his mom, Laura Kellier, aka Keller Laura, posted this. "I must also state that Christy," you know, Christy Hathaway apparently, "has been lying and claiming she is Sean's fiancée or girlfriend. She is not. She has caused us serious heartache and harm. I tried to handle it privately, but she refused to honor anything. Now her friends are continuing the victim narrative. This is so harmful to us right now. Now I want to be understood. She is not a victim. Yes, I yelled at her. Yes, I want to kick her ass. I did not last night. I did yell at her. I seriously tried to handle it privately, but she refused to honor our wishes. She emotionally abused Sean for a long time. She even fucking sold his boots. And for those of you who knew that hurt Sean deeply, they broke up over 4 months ago, and the last 4 months were the happiest he's been in years. Please do not give credence to this. She is no victim. She has not let me mourn my son on more than one occasion. She went to the media just for attention. Antio Zamboni."
Someone's jealous.
Yeah, it seems like it. So it seems like we have sort of a smothering mother and an absent father.
Pissing on the fucking memory of her son as if it's fucking turf.
Yeah. Let's look at Sean's mom's friends then. No friends for me to see.
That means they're all Antifas. Or majority.
It would suggest that, yeah. And
yeah, they locked his mom probably did that after I doxed his ass.
Could be.
You know, they just locked down.
Right.
Like, that's how I fucking found your info, you fucking idiots.
Right. However, she can do that all she wants. We could still see here that she likes Cider Riot. We could see she likes Anti-Fascist Nurse Action, Rash, that's Red, and Anarchist Skinheads. It's a group from, I think, the 1980s, not unlike Sharp, also from the 80s, at least in America. They were from Europe, and then they came over to America in the 80s. We have Metropolitan Anarchist Coordinating Council, MAC, No Justice, No Pride. That looks like some sort of a far-lefty activist, maybe. You have the Rahova thing. They always gotta, lionize that. Eugene Antifa, the wonderful people who came to our front door to, not to threaten us because they wouldn't show their face, but they snuck to our front door and left stickers on it.
Yeah, I mean,
We have
stickers are scary.
Yeah.
Sticker.
They also, they also gave out our private information. See, unlike them,
what they thought was.
Well, yes, they tried. Unlike we have actually put out the names and faces and the public support of Antifa. Of, like, say, for example, her son. He's on our list that we showed you earlier. However, that's public information. That's information they themselves put out for the public. It's not the same as taking someone's private information and making that public. Two very different things.
Yeah,
okay?
They were just mad that they were too stupid to have thought of that angle.
Yeah. So then we have Pacific Northwest Anti-Fascist Workers, Portland Resistance, that is Gregory Robert McKelvey's group, Rose City Antifa, Cascadian Anarchist Liberation with the Antifa symbol, World Martial Arts College. That may be, if it is true, that he's a Taekwondo black belt, that may be where he got his black belt from. And on that note, our friend there in Eugene, I don't know if you want me to say your name. Well, I could say your YouTube name. I'm sure you want me to say that. Maharlika AWA. You may know a little bit about this place. And you are concerned with the infiltration of Antifa into martial arts, especially in your area. So here's something perhaps to look into, or if you know something about this, you could send me a message on Facebook, but I just can't answer you because I am suspended. But there you go. That might be...
Bad boy.
Yeah. And they're Taekwondo. All right. Then you have White Tiger Martial Arts Taekwondo, Portland. And then that is the end of this stuff. So, I don't think there's anything more to look into as far as, we looked at the photos, right? Yeah, we did. There's only 3 of them there. So there you go, folks. That's that. All right, let's move on. Alrighty, so the Washington Post, a complicated past lies behind Portland's violent protests. This is from November 13, 2016. Okay, so at this point, the article says, one self-identified anarchist, 20-year-old Arminio Lewis, not his real name, he says, defended the Thursday violence. Quote, it's not against marginalized communities, unquote, he said Friday. Okay, you guys just indiscriminately destroyed stuff. You don't know what the fuck you're talking about. Or you do, and you're just lying. Quote, it's a declaration that they're safe. We'll protect them, unquote. Says a guy who is in a group that attacks immigrants. As we've shown in part 1, I've showed you 3 examples of them attacking immigrants. I mean, and that's just off the top of my head. I'm like, well, I remember they did that to Alexei, and they did that to Marco, and though not an immigrant himself, he is the son of Vietnamese immigrants, and he's gay, and you say you protect gay people and Asian people and people of color.
Tells immigrants that we aren't racist, that we will not support the violence that you face.
You're just a liar.
That this is a safe haven for you.
You little liar!
You little liar!
Anyway, he described the unrest, quote, an unleashment of rage, unquote, at what he calls violence advocated by Trump. I could see that, like his mother, he's only semi-literate. 5:08 p.m. October 13th, Joey Gibson posted this to Facebook under his own name, and then a minute later under Patriot Prayer. Same message. My sincere condolences go out to the friends and family of Sean Keeler here. I don't care what your political ideology is. I hope we can all respond in a mature and respectful way. Whether it was an accident or intentional, I pray the truth comes out. Cider Riot has security cameras both inside and outside of their building. I hope Cider Riot will provide the film to the police so they can have a better understanding of what had happened. If you have access to film or witnessed anything related to this tragic accident, please call the police at 1-503-823-3333. Obviously, there is a culture at Cider Riot to not cooperate with the police, but this is your friend and brother who died. Help the police find the person who did this. And some people are indeed leaving some reprehensible comments. I'm not familiar with any of these persons' names, But you can see here Joey Gibson commented, I see a lot of comments on here celebrating the death of a young man. How easy it is to insult a man who cannot speak up and defend himself. How many of you have met him? How many of you have faced him on the streets? If you are happy that he died simply because he has a different political ideology from you, you sound exactly like a commie. Just kill people who think differently, like the communist regime in China, Stalin, or Mao. Next, you are going to say that we should take away the Second Amendment from citizens because they think differently. Perfect. Act like a tyrant who celebrates the death of a young man who is a victim to the lies set forth by elitists who brainwash our youth. I'm going to be very straightforward and say I have done way worse when I was his age than his apparent crime of falling into a cult, Antifa. What is his crime that is so bad that he deserves to die? Let the first man who has never sinned throw the first stone. And then you could see people arguing with Joey Gibson. Now I want to comment right now that even though Antifa and even the mayor of Portland call Joey Gibson and people, Nazis and far-right people and blah, 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 what I see a lot of on my end of things, and people even saying it directly to me, is far-right people saying, fuck Patriot Prayer and fuck Joey Gibson. They're, middle-of-the-road liberal cucks or whatever they say. All right, so just to give you some perspective, Haley Adams of Portland's Liberation also expressed concern for the life of this person, Sean Keelaher. Why did the friends of Sean not call the police when the accident happened? But his friends personally dropped him off at the hospital. He deserved the proper care on site, ambulance, not a drop-off. This really raises red flags. Something isn't right. Everyone should be asking these questions. October 13th, 5:12 p.m. PNWAWC tweets, Sean/Arminio's family has asked that we not talk to the press. Quote, no media response at all? None. No talking to them, period. Please respect this. Unquote. Thank you. Hashtag light the sky for Sean, and we'll get into that hashtag a little later. They also tweet, your words can impact the survivors, the organizing on a large scale, and the family getting support. Don't let the press platform off this, and don't help the pigs build cases. Consider not telling stories on public Facebook pages / organizing pages. Keep it in the community. What does that sound like? Mob and mafia talk, we take care of our own. Other gangs seem to talk like that. Cults as well, right? This tweet from October 13th, 8:16 p.m. about Sean includes a YouTube video with a song by Minor Threat. If you don't know, Minor Threat is a proto-straight edge band. In other words, straight edge happened after they put out this album with songs like Straight Edge. I got the straight edge. I don't smoke. I don't drink. At least I can fucking think. I have the straight edge. There you go. But this is from early 80s. And they do have a song called Sometimes Good Guys Don't Wear White. So what they're doing here is they're basically alluding to, hey, if you think about it, the song almost is talking about Antifa. We wear black and we're the good guys. And the reason why I'm mentioning this is because Minor Threat also has a song called Guilty of Being White. And it is not a white supremacist song by any stretch of the imagination.
I stand behind all my lyrics. But I know that when I wrote Guilty of Being White, I grew up in Washington, D.C., which is a black majority city. I went to the public schools here. And I know that when I wrote that song, I was writing an anti-racist song. Because I was singing a song about being a minority. In my junior high school, I was one of 10% white kids. And my senior high school, I was one of 25% white kids. And I know that when I wrote that song, I was saying, I'm only guilty of being white. Don't judge me for the color of my skin. It's anti-racist, so clear. How could I know that some nationalist Nazi guy in Poland would listen to that song 15 years later and then say to me it is so good you speak for the white man? How could I know?
And as the song goes, you blame me for slavery, 200 years before I was born, I'm guilty of being white, etc. Now, I'm mentioning this because if Antifa says the signs that you see saying it's okay to be white is a white supremacist message, then what about guilty of being white? Where they say, I'm not guilty of that stuff, I didn't do that stuff. Well, apparently it is ironic, or perhaps, is it ironic or just hypocritical? You tell me. 10:03 p.m. Russell Schultz sent me this video via Facebook Messenger. Thank you for that, Russell. I can't thank you because I am suspended, but let's watch that.
ACAB! All cops are bastards! 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 ACAB!
October 13th, 11:33 p.m. Market News puts out this. Death. Obituaries. Sean D. Keeler, 23, a Portland anti-fascist activist killed outside cider riot by Market News. And you can see it's partly in English and partly in German. We're going to skip over the English part because it is redundant for us at this point. But notice right here, mit einem SUV von Nazis getötet. Okay? In other words, they're saying that Nazis killed him. All right.
Der 23-jährige Antifaschist und Anarchist Sean D. Keeler aus Portland wird haut vor dem bekannten linken Treffpunkt Cider Riot mit einem Nazi-SUV getötet. Sean war ein bekannter Aktivist, der 2016 gegen Donald Trump sprach. Sein Bild: Wir sind voller Wut, Trauer und Bestürzung. Unser Solidarität gilt allen Genossen und Verwandten. Ein Angriff auf einen was uns ist ein Angriff aus uns alle.
And that translates to
23-year-old anti-fascist and anarchist Sean D. Keeler of Portland was killed today in front of the well-known left-wing hangout Cider Riot with a Nazi SUV. Sean was a well-known activist who spoke in 2016 against Donald Trump. See picture. We are full of anger, grief, and consternation. Our solidarity applies to all comrades and relatives. An attack on one of us is an attack on all of us.
Another German source saying the Nazis did it. Apparently they just don't care what the truth is. Now I notice over at the Cider Riot page there is no information about the event that supposedly went on that night. Remember a soul music thing was mentioned earlier. But here you go. October 5th, October 3rd, but nothing for October 12th. Now was it ever there in the first place? Did they delete it, or is it just not ever there? Someone posted this on Facebook, which is allegedly a valid screenshot. And you can see it right here. All vinyl. DJs Nando, TikTok, and E-Rock spin Northern Soul, Funk, and Reggae. Picking party, Sunday, October 13th, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. I do not know if they are traveling from out of state or anything like that. But I do notice that a YouTube video by a DJ Nando has been removed from the user. I don't know if it's the same one. Nando could be short for Fernando. There appears to be many different DJ Nandos out there, so keep that in mind. I also found this by a DJ E-Rock. Not necessarily the same DJ E-Rock, but there you go.
Alright, now I want to show you some of the hashtag Light the Sky for Sean stuff. Just a little bit. There's too much to show you all of it, or even a good portion of it, but here's some of it.
Do it! Do it!
as I was going through the hashtag like this guy for Sean stuff, I did notice a certain familiar face partaking in that hashtag. And let's just watch this thing I recorded a little bit earlier about this. One of the pioneers of autistic screeching was that feral little beastie that we just saw, whatever the hell that was. Okay.
Now, you folks remember this video here? Okay, so the person who filmed that is Mike Bivens, and if you remember, folks, from one of the previous episodes in this series, Mike Bivens is this guy in this photograph right here, and Arminio Lewis, who is Sean Kellier, apparently posted this on Facebook at some point where he's basically saying, well, here, hi, I'm Mike Bivens. I'm okay with my photos being used by the state to convict people of felonies. If you see me, break my camera. It says here, hey folks, this man, Mike Bivens, Twitter and Facebook link below, is completely okay with his coverage being used as evidence, and doesn't feel bad about it at all. This is set to public, but be sure to save the image as well. Twitter, and then it gives a link to his Twitter account. And this is what I mean when I say that Mike Bivens is not, you know, right-wing or with the fascists or whatever the fuck. We see here on the 12th, Mike Bivens tweeted, sorry if anyone saw that last post. Apparently it was something that was since deleted because there's nothing previous to that it seems to refer to. Sean did not apologize, which isn't a big deal. I wouldn't apologize to me either. His heart was in the right place, and it seemed that we had some sort of an understanding. My condolences to his friends and family. He seemed like a good guy. Then we have, it's not about me or anything he said to me. He was a gung-ho anti-fascist trying to keep people safe the best way he knew how. I have no ill will. Not sure what else there is to say.
That's all you had to say.
And then we have, I do hope they catch the sob who ran him down, though. And that goes for anyone who runs down a person with an automobile, not because of who he was. And finally, I condemn anyone's efforts to make Sean Kellier look like an evil person based on his interactions with me. And that, no doubt, I'm almost certain would have to refer to Andy No retweeting Mike Bivens' video, which they say makes him look bad, and they're right. But really, who makes him look bad? Himself. That's how, you know, Mike Bivens just documented what this person did and said at that point in time. That's it. Nobody's fault but his. You know, Mike Bivens has every right to film in a public place. And so there you go. The only person in the wrong there would be Sean Kellier. I also want to call to your attention, folks, that Andy No himself wrote this article about this for the Post-Millennial. There's Kellier right there. His headline is Notorious Portland Antifa Activist Dies Under Mysterious Circumstances. That's from 3 days ago my time, so I guess that would be the October 17th. I'm not going to read it because he basically just goes, for the most part, goes over facts that we've already covered and shows stuff like the graffiti there and whatnot. So you can read that if you want to. And then there is also this by the Daily Dot, our friends who we interacted with that one time for that hilarious video.
It seems like you guys are trying to be a parody. That's how ridiculous you are. That's how wrong you are. It's so easy to look these things up.
Again, to us, it comes down to a philosophical disagreement, right? Like,
it's not a philosophical disagreement. If you say 2 + 2 = 5, you're just flat wrong. If you call the Proud Boys alt-right, you're just flat wrong, okay? If you call We the People, it sounds like white nationalists, you're a moron, okay? You're anti-American, obviously.
I don't know, man. I just disagree. And
are you pro-American? Are you for the Constitution?
Oh, I love the Constitution.
Well, then you sound like white nationalism, according to your own fucking article, you idiot. Okay? Now you're a white nationalist. I'm going to do an article about how you are a white nationalist according to your own standards, you moron.
They have Andy No smears Antifa activist killed in hit and run by a David Kovucci. I don't think that was the guy I talked to, but anyway, Andy No shared old clips of the deceased. And I'm not going to go through this article in this video, folks, because this could be an entire episode of Antifa in media, basically, because this is pretty much just propaganda for Antifa, you know, thinly disguised. And also because it goes into a whole big thing. I wrote them something, and depending on how this person responds or whether or not they respond, that'll change what happens in that video anyway. So let's push that off for the future and move on.
As I record this, folks, they still apparently have not solved the case, or if they have, they're not telling us anything, so I don't know. I'm not really sure, but apparently the case has not been solved. So that means everything has to be looked into. All avenues have to be checked out, right? A lot of those avenues would be involved looking into people that he's associated with in the past, right? And so I recorded the following earlier when I noticed someone. Well, you'll see. Here we go.
Is this the same person who got knocked out by Demi, you know, Airliner World and more, at Cider Riot? It kind of looks like her.
Oh, yeah.
It looks like the same one to me.
It does.
Alrighty, folks. This is a video from Portland Andy.
Yeah, that's her.
You think that's her?
Yeah, she's got a flat face.
Right. By the way, since we're right here at this video, I might as well take the opportunity to show you right there. There's the camera. Right there. Okay, this is the side of Cider Riot. There's the camera that supposedly doesn't exist, or supposedly didn't film anything. But anyway, notice she has kind of short eyebrows, or at least they're just dark for a little while, and then they just get really thin and non-existent. The eyebrows are the same too. You notice how they're kind of thick and dark, and then all of a sudden they're non-existent. Looks like the same goddamn person. All right, now. I know I might be harping over tiny little details here. It's just the thing. Here's the thing. There's an ongoing investigation, so here's another person who knows Sean. Okay?
Alrighty, folks, as I'm sure most of you would agree, this video has gone on quite long enough. So let's end this here. If important updates come out about this case, if they're important enough, I will make a new video about this. In the meantime, just know there was a lot that I didn't put in this video series in the webpage version of this video. And you can see that by seeing the links below. Just know that lately they've been locking that webpage down, so it's hard for me to update lately. But I will try my best. Alright, folks, make sure you're subscribed to us on BitChute, because YouTube will not let us get away with this for too much longer. Especially now that, you know, all the, you know, you think we had censorship in the last 4 years online? Ooh, wait till you see this campaign thing, this whole presidential run get deeper and deeper. Things are going to get a lot worse. So subscribe to us on BitChute. Please consider donating to us through Subscribestar. Greg, thank you very much for your continued donations. Folks, if we could get another, I think, $14, then we can cash out the minimum $150 and make our first payout ever for doing this channel. Yep, that's right. All right, folks, thank you very much for watching. Peace, love, freedom, and equality.